Hello and welcome to Coast. So we're finally to Coast in the tutorial, but Coast is very fun and very hard at the same time. So it's all movement, which is very fun. And yeah, so well, let's get into this. I'll go and put a small disclaimer here. It's just it's not really easy to sort of like to have a definitive strat for Coast, like for each map individually, because a lot of it's just try and YOLO it essentially. So I'll show you what I aim for, which is basically like world record stuff, and then I'll just give you some like some strats you can use, and going or always like going around the level is always an option for a lot of these because you just go so fast anyway. Right. So the first thing I do is I come out here and I get here. Then what I do is I circle strafe and do 3 hops, turn, and then AFH and hit that slope to get up here. Now, that can be pretty difficult, of course. Let's say I don't do that. You can just come down here. Let's try and keep going. And you can just walk up this slope, which is perfectly fine. But you want to try and at least hop into it so you keep speed. And then get up here like that. I'll try and show my mega strat here. So if I actually do this properly, like that, I can hit that and do that and just AFH into the tunnel, which is pretty good. But yeah, as long as you make it up here, doesn't really matter that much. And if you get up here and you lost some HP, there's a billion HP in here. There's also a secret SMG nade if you want to do maybe a secret strat later. But yeah, once you get here, we're going to be going into this next map, and what we're going to do for this next map is we're just going to ABH along this left side of the tunnel, and then we're going to hit the loading zone. And when we hit the loading zone, we're going to turn our mouse 45 degrees to the right. So if we're actually backwards like this, we hit the loading zone, and we'll turn our mouse to the right and just sort of keep spamming jump. So yeah, let's do it. And if you do it right, sort of like that, yeah. You're just going to land in the water, and then you're just going to hold space. So there's many different like weird sort of launches you can get out of this tunnel, but as long as you get out of this tunnel, it's fine. One thing I do is I like to try and AFH off the shore there to get like 4,000 speed. Sort of like that, but I had kind of a bad angle for it. But yeah, I do that, and then just shark by just holding space if you remember from Boatless, and then just do that, which is like pretty hard. So what I'm actually doing here is I'm holding space and then just letting myself get sloped off this, and this is the hard strat, by the way. And then I just AFH and hit that slope, like hit that slope there, and then just go in between these 2 railings. I have to give a extra one there, and then yeah, that's the fast strat, which is gonna be pretty hard. You might get stopped or something, or slow down, or be really slow here. And if you do that, it's no problem. You can just come here, ASH, and hope the antlions don't bother you. You can just sort of ASH into that rock. And you can land in this corner, like this, to avoid all damage. Another thing you can do is, just like if for some reason you can't hit the rock, you can also come over here and just sort of just slide up the wall. Or, just try and like either bounce all the way up or sort of like bounce into this hole and then keep going. So I'll sort of show how you land it if you do the fast strat here. So, ooh, I actually got the extra bit of a slope there. So I strafe to the right, and then when I hit the loading zone, if I can get this pause here to show. So you see where my cursor is? That's exactly where I'm going to be landing if I do the fast strat here, to avoid all fall damage like that. And doing it there is also good to keep speed. You can also land in this corner like that if you're just short of this, which is also fine. But yeah, if you do the baby strats, you know, you just come over here. Like I said, this is just more or less just to show you what I do and some alternative strats. Because a lot of this is just sort of, you know, do it yourself. So, for this map, you just ASH through, and this part I highly recommend AFHing because it's much easier, and then you can bounce off that to come up, to turn like that to get up here to the end of the level. But the reason why I say AFH is because it's pretty much impossible to weave in between these two pillars while ASHing. Because when you're ASHing, it's actually an AFH. But pressing A and S just sort of, or S and D, sort of pulls you back. And because of the, like the S shape it makes you do, it makes it really difficult to weave in between those pillars like that. So if you want to keep going, you pretty much have to AFH that and then bounce off like that. But no matter, you can still get up there really easily. So as long as you make it at least over here, you just come here, come to this point right here, jump up here and just sort of sprint, walk up, and maybe jump at a couple of points to get up. And you can make it up here without having to go through any of that nonsense. And there's a rocket launcher there. It can crash the game. It's crashed my game anyway, before in the past, but just saying. But yeah. Once you get there, you can oh wow, really? I just wanna show you where to land if you do it fast. Here. So of course you wanna like land on the road. If you get very shallow, you can just AFH up the road. Yeah, you essentially just land on the road and just keep going. Like that. But if you get like super like mega height, let's say you fly like up here like this, you can sort of land like right here. It's kind of difficult still, but yeah. Kind of want to like aim more like into the corner right there instead of like down there. Like that, kind of. Something like that. Getting a lot of height's really difficult to land there. It's just so... You really just want the shallow launch. But yeah. I'm going to keep going. So you can ABH up there if you do the slow route. And then when you get here, what you can do is you can air strafe still. So you're not actually... When you're in a state like this, it's just sliding along. You still have air control. And you're not like controlling yourself on the ground. So if you're like sliding like this, you can still air strafe. Well, air strafe's the only form of being able to move, really. Yeah, you can do that to turn, like that, into the tunnel. But yeah, so what we're going to do here is, for the next map, we're going to stick to the right side of the tunnel, and for this one, we're going to be sure we're going to be standing at some point before we get to the end of the tunnel. So I do a circle strafe standing, but you know, if you suck at circle strafing, you can just go backwards, and after you get a bit of speed, you can stand up. And then all you do now is you just turn your mouse to the left at a specific point. Like basically as soon as you get out of the tunnel, you turn your mouse quite a bit, but you know, not too much. It's kind of like a very precise window actually for like how much you need to turn to hit this. So when you do this strat, you're going to be basically landing a hop right here and hitting that slope. But you're going to be doing it backwards because it's much easier to control yourself for that, to get this launch. But this launch tends to be kind of a big roadblock for a lot of people. So just a fair warning. And you know, like I said, you can always just, you know, go around the level, just around there. You're still really fast. Instead of like doing that, attempting this 50 times, that's always an option of just... Instead of just failing it 50 times. Alright, so to land this, when you slope off of it, you kind of see me do it already, you can sort of follow the road like that to avoid fall damage. You can also... I can get the launch here. This is one of those strats where your skill just kind of degrades if you just keep doing it, which is kind of annoying. Oh wow, I'm bad. There we go. So if you get a shallow launch like that, you can sort of hit that and then like, well, if you don't bump your head, you can sort of like bounce around. Bounce around, I say, to get up there like that. And the other strat that might be easier is to just land here in this corner. You don't have to really worry about like hitting a slope. You just land here and you live. And yeah, that's all you have to do to live there. Landing on the road's the easiest, or the second easiest besides maybe landing in that corner. But yeah. Continuing on, I just ASH through this tunnel. Just make your way through. I'm not even going to go over David launch, because when I was rehearsing this video, it was horrible, so we're not going to do David launch. We don't talk about that. And we get here. So this map is an even bigger roadblock for a lot of people to get past. So the reason being is there's a force field on the bridge, and there's a force field at the end of the bridge, and you have to get past both of them. The easiest way is just launching straight past them, but doing this launch is kind of difficult for a lot of people. But I'm trying to explain the way that I do it usually. So the way I do it, I actually keep speeding, keep going, but you can also stop here. Circle strafe, then ASH, and let me mention I'm standing here also, and then crouching over that little hill there in between those two, these two like posts here. And then I AFH into that part. So let me show you exactly where I AFH into. So basically just right here into this slope. Right here. And if you do it right and you have the right amount of speed, you just get launched to the end of the level. Like that. Right onto the end of the level. And you just slope into the tunnel. But the strat isn't always the easiest. So let's say you get a shallow launch like that. Then another option you can do is you can slope off the top of the trains, which can be kind of difficult, but it's another option to keep, like, you know, going smooth if you get a low launch like that. Sort of turn, you know, hit slopes. Like I said, a lot of this is just sort of winging it. But yeah. The last option, and probably the most baby option, is if I can actually get up here in a baby way. Okay. Is as long as you can at least, like, make it over here. So, as long as you can at least make it on the bridge, what you can do is you can come over here, right? Get past this railing. Make sure you're past this block, by the way. Just get all the way to, like, sort of the edge here so that you don't hit these light poles. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to go to the top right here and aim at, like, as close to 90 degrees as you can. And then you're just going to go backwards until you have, like, a ton of speed, and then just slightly turn and hit that slope. And that's the other option. So I guess I didn't really go over landing spots. Let me go over landing spots real quick. So when you do this strat. I need this strat here. So there's many different ways you can land this, of course. So I got a lower launch there. So the main spot I land for is right here, like that. And then if not, I land here, like up this slope. And if I go really high and really far, I can land here. Just slope down. Another option that I've done before is also land here into the corner, or maybe I don't go as high. I can also just keep sloping into the tunnel. But yeah, that's all the strats essentially. And you just sort of keep going, and if you know what you're doing, you can kind of just do like that to get in the tunnel. And yeah, that's Highway 17. Basically the first half of Coast, so that'll be the end of that part. But, you know, if you want to experiment and keep continuing, that's a lot of Coast is just winging it. You can't. But yeah, I keep speed through this tunnel, and we'll see that in the next part.